wooden panel.
Just a
However,
panel?
it was
Oh,
yeah, it's pretty much just a wood wall in the
Panel,
corner
wooden wall.
purple.
that I
Wooden
like.
pallet?
Yeah,
Okay.
It's the
I'm
poop
pulling
one.
like a 6-year-old and hiding behind an open door.
No.
Aren't you like
Sludig
huge?
went and got an Old Navy clothing rack to hide in.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I miss those big circular racks. you
My
could get
windows
into
are
as a kid.
closed.
What?
Cool.
I hope your car blows up.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
Sorry, no, they're
I
just.
mean, we can't hear anything if you're concerned.
Oh, I mean, I'm
You're
mostly
just threatening
concerned, but it's very
passersby to us.
Got it all on tape,
Drew's
Drew.
lost it.
I mean, Drew has lost it.
I mean,
You're not
yeah,
you when
it's
you're
true.
sleepy.
Then I guess I'm not me. Ever. Never have been.
Got the music going. I'm not one for introductions anymore. So we're just gonna I guess
Game.
just go right in. Hi, my name is Logan and never say dust on the internet, and I'm just here to play games with my friends.
The internet.
Oh
So
god, we were live on stream. Hey everybody, I just saw this car blow up.
sorry.
No, but people should drive responsibly
They
down
should.
my road.
We should.
Yeah.
Down every road.
They're bad here too.
True.
Well, I don't get it.
Logan, I hope I don't get your stream shut down for
That's fine.
threatening violence. That's my bad.
Honestly, well, I hope people from your job don't find that clip.
It's fine.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
It's fine.
So, last time, we're just gonna jump right in. I'll go
Let's
and
just
move
jump
battle
right
map. Shout out to the Joko Wild for following since the last stream, and for Travis
Nice.
for re-upping his subscription.
What's up, Travis?
So, last time, y'all finished up any type of preparation or whatever's to come, because at this point you have found that Driftchapel is mostly empty. Townsfolk have either been taken, converted, or have left. Even your loyal friends, Agnes, and even Dieter's thinking about leaving. Lavidia King is leaving town. Dieter is sticking behind, though, with Matthias in the lighthouse, but as far as anyone else in town goes, they've up and left, or worse. But you know that one of the sites of cult activity has been in the profane chapel to the northern side of town, as is dubbed by the full Driftchapel map. It was once chapel to an old god whose any sign of what god it was have been worn away, broken, graffitied, or removed entirely. Now it's been completely traded out for Qatu propaganda, basically. You found summoning circles, you found Qatu graffiti scrawlings on the walls, the bell tower was converted to Finch's sort of obsessive nook where he carved away and tried to recreate the statue that I think Aminah has right now.
I think so, yeah.
But after dismantling the summoning circle, booby trapping the little hole that leads down into a roaring waterway beneath, and disposing of Finch and his obsessive crafting, you have now since returned to the chapel to see what has remained. While you were snooping around, some cult folks returned. Well, some cult folks, some deep ones, and some townsfolk who may or may not be doing this against their own agency. They were skulking around, seeming to have an idea that maybe someone was snooping about here. You all hid in a variety of ways. Kieran zipped up to the bell tower. Portia, you climbed up and balanced on some overhead ledges and rafters up above in the main chapel area. Aminah, you're perched on top of a statue at the farthest side above an altar. And Sludig, you picked up a piece of wood and held it in front of you.
I'm doing the best I can. I'm a very large man. There are a few things that can hide me.
You all kind of wait quietly as you watch these cult folks walk around and basically search for you. Eventually, enough of those weird Deep One fish folk walked into the sort of entry room to the chapel. Kieran snapped the line to the now warped and beaten bell so that it fell, and brought a bunch of the bell tower with it, bricks, rubble, pieces of wood, and then exploded at the bottom, knocking down and killing most of the Deep Ones that were down there, except for this one dude that's just got thrown up against the wall and is all by himself now. And with that, because that's all there is to it now, go and roll initiative for me. For y'all's surprise,
All right, here we go.
surprise round.
Just here we go, I guess.
Just right in, man.
Remind me.
Just do it, I guess.
What do I need to add to the
Your
D12?
dexterity.
Oh. Okay. 17.
Me too.
Can you hear us, Drew? You having some difficulties?
Is it?
You're muted in Google Meets. Yeah, we can't hear you, bud. Nope. You look
they're
like
muted in the meat.
yeah,
Your meat is
like on the
muted.
computer. You're muted.
Oh,
Like in the browser window. Oh, I got a 20, by the way.
Oh, I got a 20, by the way.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding.
and then the other two of you got 17s?
Yeah, I got a 17. I have a
Okay.
plus 1
He's
dex,
gone.
if that matters.
Oh, you.
I am now Portia Brown.
Yeah, that's
I light the lamps.
Did you say I light lamps or I like lamps?
Both?
Sorry,
I
we're
like
just gonna change the POV and use my phone
Hey,
because
Hey.
I think another function of my computer just went out. We'll see.
Oh,
No.
great.
But initiative-wise, I rolled an 11 plus 2 is 13.
Alright, I'm gonna randomly shuffle around y'all's videos to see if I can randomly...
Sorry, I realized that causes problems.
It almost just
Oh,
turns
that's
into a
close.
game.
How many times will he have
Well, it's
to
gonna
shuffle
take me so many times. It's actually surprisingly harder, I think, with only the 4 of you, because I think it depends on who joins the meet at what time.
There's like no way you can
You
just
want me
drag
to
and
leave
drop
and
it and
join?
be shuffled.
No, and it infuriates me. Okay, this is close enough. I'm just gonna switch y'all's little thingies. Oh, you okay, Drew?
We're gonna make it.
You got it, Drew. You got it.
Oh, you can just watch Bradley's banner move very slowly down the screen. Like it's just dropping down.
That's very good.
Whoops.
Beautiful.
Oh no.
Technology, gotta love it.
We're here. Alright, and then the goons, as I've dubbed their little group. There's not many of them left.
We may have said this already, and I may not have been paying attention because I was trying to remember how to play D&D. But these guys next to me, and like these two people, are they like pastors?
Who's? No, those are just like regular townspeople who have been sort of
Those
indoctrinated.
townspeople.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's like a sea creature person in the other room,
Correct.
and then by the hole there's like a caster person.
Yeah, an actual cultist.
Okay.
Actual cultist Shia LaBeouf.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
Is that Drew static that I'm hearing?
To me it looks like it's coming from you.
Can y'all hear yourself?
Nope.
Is that-
No.
Sorry.
No, I'm just
Nope.
hearing a lot of like static / white
Me too.
noise.
That's probably my fan because my phone speaker is going to pick up a lot more than my headset would.
Gotcha.
Oh, that's fair.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Goons.
So on our initiative roll of a natural 20, they're surprised. So next up is Kieran.
So, where am I now?
You are still up in the bell tower.
So it's still standing, kind of?
Yeah, it's still standing. You just ripped out some bricks and wood. It might not be long for this world, but it's still intact.
Okay. I'm assuming any semblance of stairs back down are gone, or difficult to traverse.
There's just a gap you will need to hop where some of the wooden stairs were ripped away.
Okay.
There's still some stone stairs near the bottom, so you just need to do a little leapy poo down there.
Leafy food.
A leafy poo?
A little leapy poo.
Well, I will begin making my way down the stairs that are there before I need to make a leapy poo. But I'm gonna keep an eye out, pull out the rifle, and just keep scanning around. And as soon as I see any sea creatures that don't belong on land, that are not dead already. So if I see like a sea urchin, I'm gonna fucking kill it. Just bam.
There's a little crab walking around, really confused.
A crab with a knife.
No, that's Bradley's next character. Kieran dies.
Don't tell them.
So yes, that the only one that you see is that one that got. Oh, that's a post-it note. Is that one at the bottom who is prone, flopping around on the ground trying to regain his footing.
He's prone, which means he has a disadvantage.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you'll roll high enough because.
I mean, probably, but yeah, I'm just gonna shoot him. Bang. Ooh. Unless that happens. What do we do for natural ones with these? I'm pretty sure they stop working and I maybe take some damage.
Don't they misfire?
Yes. But I don't
F.
remember the specific
Yeah,
rules.
so let me see here. Rolling critical
Unfortunate.
while attacking with a flintlock means the weapon misfires. The wielder takes a little bit of fire damage, not much. That's 2 points of fire damage. As it explodes and improperly discharges. The weapon can't be fired again until the wielder completes a, quote, short rest. We'll say if you take an hour to properly clean and fix it up.
Fuck.
Not an actual short rest, but just stop for an hour and fix it.
Gotcha. Like, peel back, line up a shot, click. I'll just kind of... Fuck, shit. I'll just, like, toss it to the side and pull out my pistol and rear back for a shot. It's not a natural one.
Okay, I was about to say, did you roll another one?
That is an 18.
Yes, that will definitely hit. Go ahead and roll your damage. And because, for my sake and y'all's sake, so we can all see, you guys have fought enough of these types of enemies to understand how hardy they are. So I'm actually going to visibly keep track of their HP on Owlbear
shit.
Rodeo.
Oh, wow.
So that way you can kind of see who's
Meta.
injured, who's looking certain ways, etc. You know, because there's only so many ways to describe a humanoid creature being injured.
I don't know. You can get pretty creative about it.
Well, I'm not just saying this because you suddenly put
I
their
put a
HP
12 on the screen.
But I 13 points of piercing damage.
Ah!
DED.
Did.
It's bulbous yellow eyes. Pop.
Ew.
And I will continue walking down the stairs, and I will bonus action dash if necessary to get to the bottom.
You can definitely get to the bottom.
I'm at the bottom. Is this the bottom, or is that's the bottom? I'm at the bottom.
Kieran's the bottom. So now that will take it to, let me look at my on-screen post-it note. Aminah, you are stealthed and you see this cultist down below you.
I sure do.
I can only assume you're gonna Assassin's Creed leap off and just...
I'm gonna brandish my dagger. carefully prop myself up in an angle that I can push myself out and just go dive knife right into their skull.
So go ahead and make an
Sneak
attack
attack that
roll
shit.
with your knife, and do it with advantage. So roll twice, take the higher one.
That's
your-
D20, right?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, highest one was 16. So,
And then plus your attack bonus.
that's 24.
That's plenty enough. As you can see, according to Albert Rodeo, this dude has 3 hit points. So you can either just go ahead and describe your killing blow, or you can roll all of your dice and see what you get for funsies.
I mean, I'm gonna do both because I'm extra, but let's see here. So Aminah takes a second to, prop herself in the statue, carefully pulling out the knife and literally just going to thrust herself forward and, in good old-fashioned, as you say, Assassin's Creed style, just the dagger goes plunging into their skull. They're completely caught unawares, taking a colossal amount of damage, which is going to add up to 5, 7, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, plus 4, that is 22 points of damage.
23 points of damage. Yes, so of course, just Assassin's Creed style, almost just knocking the body straight down into that hole again. Blood spills, and as their hood flies off of their head, you see that half of their face is just overgrown with like barnacles and like coral and stuff that's just grown and fused in, even down to like the bone. But they fall dead. That was your attack. Any bonus actions or any more movement things? You don't have much movement, but I assume you're satisfied with your turn.
Oh, I'm good for now.
Now I'll take it to Portia. You are in a similarly perched position.
Can I? How high up above the this dude next to me am I? Like
However
10 feet?
high you would like to be.
No, it's hi. How are you?
Oh, Jacob did a thing.
Oh boy!
Oh Jesus.
So, this is a great time to unveil the new Something Happens screen.
Hey.
New screen.
So Jacob did a Something Happens, so we're gonna roll on the Something Happens wheel.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
I love this.
Toilet cat happens. Oh no. That's the Something Happens that someone has to use the bathroom.
Do I have to poop?
Upon them.
Poop on them. Does that count as an unarmored strike if I poop on them?
They've only got 4 hit points. You could deal 4 hit points of poop damage.
Well, I was gonna. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm
Jake.
gonna say you have to use the bathroom. The nature of your bathroom need is up to you. But whatever saving throw, the next saving throw ability check or attack will say you have disadvantage because you have to go to the
Disadvantage?
bathroom so bad. You guys sat up there for a while.
We did.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah, shit.
Literally.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jacob.
I keep wanting to say shit again, but I'm not. I don't. That's too many things. Okay. So my original plan was to like jump down on this dude next to me and like kick him in the face, kind of like with one heel, and then land down on my other heel to like do unarmed strike damage from above,
Mm-hmm.
and then run over to this other guy and hit him in the face. with my extra attack.
Okay.
And because I would have made an unarmed strike as part of the attack action on my turn, and I'm holding my Kinsei weapon, I can use it to defend myself, and I get a +2 bonus to AC until the start of my next turn. With Advil pairing.
Do it. Roll your first attack.
But at disadvantage.
But first attack's
I
a
have to poop.
disadvantage. Yeah. And if you miss,
I let
you...
out a little.
Yeah.
I let out a little toot. Start to turtle a little bit. For unarmed strike, how to play a monk? What do I add my?
Dex and proficiency.
Is it dex or is it can it be strength?
Whichever.
Oh really? Okay, great.
I mean, yeah.
So that's an 18 to hit with disadvantage.
Yes, that'll hit.
And then my martial arts die is a D8. Do I add my strength modifier
Yeah.
to that damage? Yeah. So then that is a lot. It's more than 4. It's 12 actually.
Crack that guy in the nose with your
So
heel.
then I jump down here, and then I'm gonna like run in a little like Naruto style, and then run over here and whack this guy with my extra attack
Go for it.
with my halberd,
This time
quote
normal
unquote,
because
lamplighter.
you've now gotten used to the feeling of having to move.
That's a real thing, though. That's fair.
Yeah, like
It is. It's
you
unfortunate.
just kind of steel yourself, and you're like, all right.
Oh, I rolled.
This is my life now.
19s.
You what?
I rolled double 19s.
Oh, hell yeah.
Double 19s, which makes it a 28
Yes.
to hit.
Yes.
So then that is D10. Oh no! Oh god! I almost lost my D10. Oh, I rolled a 1, but +5, so 6.
Okay. Now I'll ask you because you're like hitting with your fists and stuff. Are you doing
Well-
non-lethally things?
These are townspeople, right? That I'm
Yes.
attacking right now.
Yes.
Then yes,
Okay.
non-lethal.
I will leave them. But their things. Oh, what just happened? What is happening on my screen?
I don't know what is happening on your screen.
I need a refresh. 1 second.
I had to refresh Alpha Rodeo.
Yeah, that was weird. Let me share my music once more. Ba-doop, ba-doop, boop,
Scoop.
boop-a-doop, boop.
Shoo-boo-bop.
Anywho, so knocking them unconscious, and Sloodig, you're hearing fighting going on from behind your board. You throw your board to the side.
Throwing my board to the side and seeing everybody dead
Everything's
or
taken
unconscious,
care of.
I am disappointed. Proud of my adventuring party, but sad I got to take no part of it.
I really thought this was gonna be like a. I thought they were gonna have a lot of hit points
No, not this one.
for some reason.
Oh,
There it is.
good thing I didn't need my computer anyway. I was already using this. It blue screened, it's restarting, we'll see.
Very cool. Very cool. Just watch the stream, then you can see Aldo Rodo.
Oh man, I've got you on my phone. Oh, okay, actually, yeah, I can move you over there too.
So, with that, threats taken care of, 2 unconscious townsfolk, a bunch of dead deep ones, and a dead cultist. The rain and storm still just going at it outside. It has been raining nonstop, and the storm just seems to be getting worse and worse and worse with every passing day. You wait a couple moments. You check the hole that they came out of. No new arrivals. Besides the storm getting worse outside, nothing else happens. You're free to do what you wish.
What's in that hole?
think
That
the ocean.
hole, if you look down, so actually in Albert, I'm actually going to move this over to Driftchapel map. So you'll notice that the Driftchapel like coastline It has a lot of these like rivers and waterways that run up through them. Well, in some areas, there are caves along sort of the walls of the coastline. And over near the Profane Chapel, up here to the northern side, there is a cave that the ocean runs into, and there's this rushing waterway that cuts up underneath the Profane Chapel and into the town.
Let's do it. I want to go in there, says Rachel.
My firearms tend not to work too well when they're wet.
Oh, I remember that being an issue. I have
Those
some
tunnels are
daggers.
dangerous.
I mean, I can make do without them, but I'd prefer not to. I could put them in a plastic baggie first.
Do you guys still have those little black slimes?
I have 2 of them in a jar.
Are they going in the hole?
I don't know.
Or would they like to?
Let's take a look. I
Creature
yoink one out from my bag and see what direction is the globe creature trying to swim towards.
It starts swimming toward the hole.
Gross.
Lovely.
Do we feel adequately prepared for this venture?
I feel more prepared than the last time we entered the tunnels, but they're not something to be trifled with.
That's right, that you two have been down these before. What do you know what we could be expecting?
They were full of cultists and these strange statues that I don't know if they were cursed or full of some strange magic, but they seemed to twist the mind.
Just be wary of your senses when you go down there. It's, as Sludik said, there are things that will warp your perception of everything. And you've got to be careful. We've got to be careful.
Is there... I'm like thinking back to when I just randomly showed up at the lighthouse barefoot in the rain
Mm-hmm.
last session or whenever that was. Can we have like a... I feel like we should be able to notify each other when we think something is not right in our minds, I guess.
Like a
Like a-
code word.
Yeah, like Jenga, but doesn't have to be Jenga.
Yahtzee.
Could be
Boggle.
Yahtzee.
Boggle.
Farkle.
Sorry.
Taboo! Taboo!
Sorry.
Boulder Dash.
Boulder Dash.
The game of life.
Scrabble.
Just so that we know when other people's, when our reality might start to be fucking up.
I think Boulder Dash is quite
Boulder Dash.
exciting.
Baldur's Gate.
Not used in your typical vocabulary.
Fair. I'm down for that. Boulder's Dash. Boulder Dash? Boulder's Dash?
Boulder Dash.
Oh God.
Boulder Dash.
Fuck.
It's
Okay.
the town of the south of Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Dash.
Baldur's Dash.
Yeah, there's Baldur's Dash, there's Baldur's Disengage, there's Baldur's Health, there's Baldur's Attack.
Dodge. A small boulder the size of a large boulder.
Oh no.
Can't think of any other ways to prepare other than to just steal our minds, basically.
You know, I have a thought. Does any hear me out on this? I'm pulling a Doctor Who. Anybody have any sort of writing utensil on them other than me? Because I have a quill.
Yes.
No.
I will produce a ink pen and notebook.
Okay. Would there be anything around us that could feasibly Actually, you know what? Screw it. I could just. You know what I'm gonna do before I do anything else? I'm gonna find like 2 little like sort of splinters of wood that I can just shave down to make some sort of writing utensil. I'm gonna hand them to Portia and Sludig, and I'm gonna divide up my bottle of ink as much as possible and hand it to everyone, and know that we can't trust our senses, but as soon as you notice something, damn, that had a much more dramatic.
Is this gonna be like the silence where we put a tick mark every time?
That's the idea.
We put a what? I'm not familiar.
You're so Aminah explains that the idea is if you notice anything, the instant you notice anything out of the ordinary in your terms of perception of like sight, sound, vision, hearing voices, reality in general, you would put a mark on your body, like a little black quill mark. That way you can keep track of how much fucked up shit we run into.
Nice.
The premise that it comes from in Doctor Who is that like you see there's these creatures that you forget them when you stop looking at them, so you have to like make marks.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't know how many of you were familiar with that, so but
Apparently we all are.
Yep.
yeah. That's the idea.
We all had a Doctor Who phase.
I mean, I wouldn't call it face, but
Surprisingly, not really.
It's not a phase, Mom.
I was a Star Trek kid. I still am.
You develop this plan, you divvy out supplies. Is there anything else you wanted to do as far as prep for down the hole?
Is there anything still in the chapel that's like sort of a stable-ish structure, like even if it's just like a column or something?
Yes. I will move us back over to the chapel here. There are portions of the walls, some of the sort of, on the northern and southern sides of the map, there are like these alcoves with statues in them. The statues have long since collapsed, but like the sort of frame and base that held them are solid. The altar's still pretty solid. The stone steps of the bell tower are still pretty solid.
Sweet. All right. Well, I'm going to take my pile of rope, tie it to one of these sturdy statue bases, and then throw the other end down into the hole.
Heck yeah.
And
Before we go in there, Sludig's relatively perceptive. Now that Kieran's up closer, I can see some singe marks, burn marks, a little black soot around his rifle. Is everything okay with your weapon before we go in there? We may need it.
Not at the moment, but it will take more time to fix than I think we have at the moment. And I'll say as I'm like finishing, I will like have pulled from my bag the body and bow of a light crossbow as I'm like finishing tightening some screws.
Off of it.
Yeah, to get it, and then like putting the bowstring on, pulling it back, and cocking it. When in Rome, do what you must.
when in Boulder Dash.
When in Boulder's Dash. Oh, and I'll pull out my ink pen and just like tuck it behind my ear so that I've got quick access to it.
I would like to. I likely have rope on me or something. I will see if I'll motion for other people to help me drag the like bodies of the unconscious people that are not dead.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone is alive other than the 2 people that I knocked unconscious. Aminah, it sounds like you definitely murdered that guy.
Sure did.
So I will just take the 2 townspeople and like tie them to a pillar or something just in case something weird happens. And I will also search them and the whoever else is in the, unless Aminah wants to search the dude that she brutally murdered.
Oh,
But in a very cool way. Oh, he fell?
No, he was
Right?
close. Unless you wanted, like, you could let him fall and toss his body down there, or you could have grabbed it and pulled
I
it
mean,
over. It's
you can
either
search him
way.
when we get
Oh
down there.
hell yeah! Grab it. Search that
Yeah.
motherfucker.
So you start searching some bodies. One of the townspeople you recognize as one of the sort of intermediaries who helped bring in shipments of oil into town to help light the lamps. And then the other one is one of the local bakers that mostly made bread and pastries for the whole town.
Was everyone in on this except me?
You weren't invited.
Am I the only one left on the sidelines?
You kept missing the handouts when they came over by the houses. You were like the lamps.
You're
I was
laying the
busy.
lance.
I was doing hot girl shit.
Hot.
Do I find like a scone in the baker's pocket
Yeah,
or something?
It's very old.
Oh.
But you find typical gear of anyone who works and lives and moves around Driftchapel. You find like a lantern and a bit of oil. You find a little bit of pastries, a little bit of snacks, like a set of house keys, a small pouch with a few copper in it. So like basically just normal pocket filler type stuff. But Rachel and Daniel both, I believe it's a D20. Let me double check.
Oh, Lord.
Yes. Yes. Both of you roll a D20 for me.
12.
7.
So you notice one of the townspeople, specifically the sort of intermediary trader person, tended to do a bit of travel or sometimes had a couple unsavory deals. So he does have a weapon on him that still seems of decent quality, specifically a scimitar. That effectively has a +1 bonus to it, but it's not magical. It's just very fine
Nice.
quality. And Daniel, you said 7?
Yeah.
You notice that the baker, oh no, excuse me, the cultist has a little sort of like, you know those like leather keychain things that are just kind of like the little flat, like circular kind of pieces of leather? Have you ever seen those?
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like it's a very like 90s North Carolina thing. I don't know why. It's basically one of those, but then it has on it what looks like a prayer sort of burned into it, along with all sorts of other strange cultic components and little components used for spell casting, and a rusty blade, all sorts of stuff. But this little leather totem, basically, with its little prayer on it, seems recently handmade. And specifically, as you notice that the language it uses, it doesn't sound actually religious. It sounds like someone who has sort of interpreted sort of a religious thing and rewritten it in their own words.
Okay.
Catholicism.
I literally thought that sounded like a very ominous noise at first. I was like, what the fuck?
What is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
But basically, this little prayer, not necessarily a prayer, this it almost sounds like an omen once you finish reading it.
Mhm.
It speaks about something called the rising tide. The
Okay.
rising tide will soon be here. The tide will soon rise. Like, it's very homemade.
Hmm.
But it seems like someone who is very zealotous? No, zealot.
Zealous.
Zealous. I was
Overzealous?
like, I
Yeah.
need I need an adjective or an adverb. Zealous about whatever kind of doctrine these cultists are preaching. That they basically turn it into a keychain for their utility belt.
Neat.
They hand it out at every service.
Basically.
It's like the free T-shirt you get by going over to the youth ministries.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to interrupt that.
Well, that's the end of that. But Portia, as you are looking through some of the baker's things, you hear her start to mumble and whisper a little bit because she's unconscious and slowly regaining consciousness. Make a perception or insight check for me, Portia.
Well, I'm not really good at either of those, but that's okay. Oh, that's a 1. Total 3.
You don't fully understand what she's saying or trying to convey, but she keeps mumbling and keeps speaking as if she's trying to convey something. And the rest of you kind of peer around, and it's getting darker. The clouds overhead are getting darker, even though you know it's only about midday at this point. Start to notice a bit of what looks like heat waves on asphalt, but it's almost black and smoky. Start to radiate off the floor of the chapel. And then you start hearing the waves and the storm outside start to get a little bit louder and a little bit louder. And the water within the waterway beneath the chapel starts to get louder and rush even faster.
Do I notice this, or am I like still listening to her mumble?
It's up to you. If you would continue trying to listen to her, you can, or...
Well, I was gonna say I would probably want to take. They looked like they had some pretty good cloaks, so I was gonna take their cloaks, especially if they're like
Take their
cultist
shoes
cloaks.
too.
Yeah.
The townsfolk
I mean, if
are
it's gonna
mostly
be
wearing
wet.
just like big waterproof trench coats, basically.
Yeah, that sounds useful.
Yeah.
I will take them and put one on myself, I guess, and give one to somebody else. I guess maybe Kieran, since you have guns.
Sure. I'll put it
I
on
don't
top
know.
of my other big coat. No, actually, I'll take the rifle and kind of like wrap it in the coat and just toss it back over my shoulder.
Nice.
But I'm doing that, so I probably don't super notice.
And eventually, a bit of water and mist starts to come in through some of the broken windows. And at a quick glance, you see that the tide has risen up
Oh my god.
supernaturally high to be at the same floor level as the chapel, and getting higher and higher and starting to beat against the walls of the chapel.
I don't know if we should be going down in the tunnel with the water going up like this. I can hold my breath for a while, but maybe not long enough to get out of there.
If anything, I think should be looking for higher ground right now.
Definitely.
True.
Where though?
Yeah, so like topographically, how does Driftchapel look? We've never really gotten that vibe, or at least I don't remember.
Should we go like further inland or something?
Or should we go to the lighthouse? Or at the very least, the steeple of this church for now.
Say at the very for the most part, this area and some of the surrounding plateau areas are probably some of the highest points in the town, just because as it gets lower and lower, or as it gets closer to the actual sea, it gets lower to meet the water line.
Well, yeah, at the very least, we should probably, like, at least not be on the floor.
Floor.
This
Yeah.
place. Get to the roof, maybe, if we can.
Okay.
Start climbing the steeple.
So y'all start moving, and I would like you to make either dexterity or strength saving throws.
I like Dex.
Dex
I
is
like
good.
Dex.
I got an 18.
I got a 24.
Dirty 20.
20.
Heck yeah. So, the windows, the stone frames of them start to collapse inward as the tide continues to, again, supernaturally quickly, getting higher and beating against the sides of the chapel until it crashes through the windows. And Titanic style, water just pours in and immediately threatens to knock all of you back and off of your feet.
I put a mark on my arm,
That's fair.
just in case.
So
Yeah.
This is a big shared dream.
So all of you save. So you take 9 points of bludgeoning damage
Ooh.
as a variety of either being knocked against something or the waves knock debris inward and it crashes into you with terrible force.
I forget, can I uncanny dodge this, or is that only in combat?
Oh, people with evasion, right? That's a bunch
Oh.
of you.
I technically did it as a strength save. I was stupid.
I did too.
Oh,
I
so
didn't. I was thinking it was like a strength check because I totally would have done that.
uh,
But I went with strength. I'll roll
So
with
did
it.
I.
took
Yeah.
9.
that's fair.
Yeah.
So,
I do not have that.
So Daniel, you will not take any damage actually because of your rogue
Okay.
evasion.
Sweet, I love that.
Oh, never mind. This is for future reference, I guess. But I also have like the monk thing where you can travel across vertical surfaces and stuff during my turn without falling. So I was like, maybe that would give me advantage, but we already rolled, so never mind. Just wanted to point it out.
Yeah, this all happens a little too fast to be able to. That's more like an active, like I am running across walls, not necessarily like reactively maintaining footing kind of stuff.
I mean,
I'll say the words supernatural waves again.
I put another mark on my arm.
Supernatural wave, supernatural wave, supernatural wave. You start to notice as you reach the stairs and start to run up the stairs is that the water is filling in faster than it's going out. Because there is a drain in this chapel. A hole that
Yeah.
at the first end. But the water keeps filling and filling and filling. And basically it is chasing you up the bell tower until the 4 of you reach the top of the bell tower and can see the water continually rising.
Can we see like the rest of the town, or is it just underwater?
The town is getting flooded.
Is
How's the lighthouse
still there?
It's still there. It's struggling. It's about halfway up the lighthouse.
Oof.
Waves just crashing against it.
Is the light still on?
The light's still on.
Okay.
I feel like
Do we hear faint screaming in the wind?
Swearing at the ocean.
God damn it.
I mean, I feel like the steeple kind of fell, right? I feel like the lighthouse is going to be the tallest thing at this point and the
I
most
agree.
sturdy, but it's like all the way over there.
Yeah, and it's not to say that, like, even if
Oh.
it's sturdy, it's not watertight, so...
Yeah. Logan, your video is frozen for me.
Oh, it's off for me.
Oh,
It's a nice.
the what?
I have a ring of swimming, and I forget what is the movement bonus for that? I'm looking that up.
I think it's just it's your normal speed, but just you can swim at that speed.
Because isn't your regular swimming speed like half?
Half.
Yeah.
Okay.
Half.
All right, 5e. Be slower, why don't you?
Kieran,
That's me.
the water has reached your boots at
Oh,
the
no.
top of the bell tower.
While they're figuring out who's gonna swim for it, I'm gonna like just take the butt end of my pistol and kind of smash through whatever windows or stuff are still up here, and take a peek up and see how easily it would be for me to climb onto the roof of the bell tower.
Is this like Breath of the Wild rules where you fall if it's raining and you're trying to climb?
I mean, yeah.
I do have second story work as
Oh,
a
you
thief
do.
rogue. Ooh,
You can climb.
I can climb.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm switching back and forth in Albert Rodeo so
So
much.
good.
I just don't feel like
I
pulling
forgot you
It's all
were a
good.
rogue.
maps to other places.
I only took the 3 levels of rogue so I could use object
Oh.
as bonus action.
You could feasibly climb it. It's very pointed at the top, very pyramidal. So there is like a ledge that you could potentially climb up and stand on. But that would be about as far as you can go.
Mhm.
Unless you want Assassin's Creed balance on like the little
I
icon
will-
on top.
If I'm
Dirty
gonna pull out
haystacks.
some rope. If I climb up, could I like swing the rope around the top of the steeple, just kind of like hang off of it?
You sure could try. You've got time to do that.
I'm just planning a contingency plan if it takes too long for them to go get the boat while we're standing here waiting.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's gonna go try and swim to get the boat?
All right. I'm gonna slap on the ring of swimming. I'm gonna chug that potion of water breathing, and I'm just going to go for it because I'm the one that has the clear vision now of exactly where it is and what we need to do to get it free.
Do you know how far away it is?
You said it's 120 feet,
120.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's more rope than I have. I wanted to tether you to something so that you don't get swept away, but I don't have that much rope.
Okay, so Aminah starts swimming, and Aminah, you've got plenty of dashing and quick moving capabilities as a rogue. In the meantime, the three of you staying up in the bell tower. Oh wait, no, it's Portia.
Oh, you're just asking me what I'm doing?
No, if you'll make a strength saving throw for
Oh.
me.
Oh no!
Saving throw?
Save.
Oh
Um,
great
fif-
heavens!
15. Oh, wait. 19.
Okay, that's very different. You feel as the water starts to crest up and reach about mid-calf height, your foot slips for a second on some of the wet stone up here, and you feel your foot just get yanked and pulled.
Do I fall?
You don't fall, you manage to maintain your footing.
I, kick it. Unarmed strike.
And this is the strange thing. It doesn't feel like something is grabbing your foot. It feels like something is just, like, pulling at your foot. It's like
I'm getting
force.
yanked. I'm getting yanked.
Reach
There's
out
something
and,
in here.
Reach out and like grab Portia's arm to make sure
I,
they don't get pulled off into the water.
I take my, lamplighter. It's not a halberd. It's a lamplighter, you guys.
Wink.
And I just start, like,
Jabbing at the water.
yeah, like when you try to, like, just stick a fish. It's like that. Can I see anything in the water? Can I see down to where we came from, or there's no light, probably? Is there any, like, all that glowing shit down there?
Make
was
a
glowing, right?
dexterity check for me. This is for something entirely different.
Can it be acrobatics
Just straight dexterity.
or stealth?
Just straight dexterity. You'll see that in
Or
a
Do I-
second.
stealth.
Is it a saving throw? Do
nope,
I ask
just a check.
proficiency? Okay. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. You can't see down in the water. You don't see anything abnormal, though. Nothing breaking the surface of the water. And jabbing your pole arm down into the water, you don't hit anything except for a few steps and a little bit of the platform that's up here. Sludig, if you will make a strength saving throw.
My next thing was gonna be just fucking get out of there. Just
22.
Okay.
reckless
you feel the
abandon,
same
climb on
thing.
top. But
It's like the water is pulling at you, trying to suck you downward.
I think Kian had the right idea. We should probably climb out this window.
I will do the thing I mentioned with my rope and just like grab onto it and then hold a hand out to try and help them up onto this ledge.
Make a...
Aminah.
Oh, sheesh.
I'll say I as my bonus action will use the rope to tie a knot. Since I can use an
objects
object.
as well. Yep, Oh, this might be a big...
It's okay to say it.
I'll say, make either an athletics or acrobatics check at disadvantage.
Well, if I gotta do one of the disadvantage, acrobatics. Whew. 14.
One boot falls off and into the water, and then you maintain.
Jesus.
You climb up and perch yourself on the ledge, holding your grip on sort of the wet slats up here. Tie the rope off, get it looped, and are able to help everyone else climb up and stand up. In the meantime, Aminah.
Can we still see Aminah? Can we
That's
see?
what we're about to find out. Aminah.
It was nice knowing you.
Aminah, make an
Daniel
athletics
cracked the
check
knife.
for me. One
Oh
athletics check.
boy.
I know.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Does she have advantage because she's a good swimmer now?
No, she doesn't have disadvantage because she's a good
alright.
swimmer
Oh
Well,
shit.
19.
now.
Good roll, good roll.
That's good. That's good. So you manage to swim, and you feel a similar sensation of something sort of like you're fighting against the current, basically. Even though you saw the tide is coming from north to south inland, and you're swimming technically with the tide, but you feel like you're pushing against something as you're swimming, until eventually one wet Aminah hand grabs the side of the boat, the other one you lift yourself up into this rowboat. You see that it's kind of like bobbing at a weird angle because it's still tethered off to whatever dock it was once tied to. Cut the rope. Pause back up. Now you just gotta sail it back. So make a one more athletics check for me.
Oh boy.
Lantern
it's a
or something
2.
we could light.
I have my lamp
I
lighter.
have a drift globe.
Oh yeah,
Just
do the drift globe.
Give her something to see. So she can
I guess
go
I'll
back.
light my lantern also, and like
It helps. Every
I also
little
have
bit.
dark vision, so that's
do this.
good.
So Daniel, what was your roll?
It was a 2.
I
At least
give
I
her
made it.
inspiration or something.
Do what?
Can we like give her inspiration somehow? Can I use my
absolutely give-
chat points?
Yeah, you can use some inspiration on Aminah.
I don't have any
Oh,
inspiration.
you don't have
but-
any? Bradley inspired Aminah. So Aminah, just as you feel everything getting pulled from you, it's like the boat's about to get sucked down into the water. You see your friends and companions lighting lanterns and their drift globes and everything, trying to call you back. You feel inspired, so roll your athletics again.
Okay, don't suck this time.
Oh no!
Nat 1.
Oh my god!
So it's either a 2 or a 1.
I can't not do this.
What do you do? Something happens.
Oh my god!
You're cashing in everything
Aminah
to try and
suddenly
make
has
Oh,
to
I
take
still
a
have
poop.
so many more things. I could do this like 12
All
more
day,
times.
baby. Alright, spin the wheel. oh baby.
Spin that wheel.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
She's spinning.
This is about to be really dramatic. Something happens in complete stark contrast to Portia having a poop.
I was gonna say, does Aminah have to take a shit now?
What a time. I mean, the
I know,
world's my
right?
toilet now.
Right.
The world's my toilet.
Suck it, Qatu.
So those folks on top of the chapel, the waves and tides start to crash and crash all around you. Mina, you eventually, as the waves start to lift the boat up and down, you lose sight of the light your friends have created. And those of you on the chapel, right at the very peak of it, there's a brief moment where you lose sight of Aminah entirely. There's a few moments that pass of there's no sign of her at all. And then eventually the waves kind of settle for a brief second, and you see a tendril of something strike the side of the steeple. And you look,
Oh,
and it is a strand of spider web. And all of a sudden you see Aminah? Almost. You see an entity on this boat using this spiderweb tether to pull the boat and itself toward the chapel. And you look and see an Aminah-esque figure, spider legs unfurled from body. The abdomen, where the legs would furl into, you see basically gloam darkness within the abdomen. You can see Aminah's face and all the spider-like fangs and teeth, eyes, multiple eyes that have all just turned black with gloam. But basically Spider-Man-esque webs pulling herself toward the chapel. By the time the boat gets up there, you all are able to tie it off very quickly so that way you can get aboard without any issues. And Aminah, the darkness fades over your eyes and you're not sure what just happened. You just got caught up in some waves and now you are back over at the chapel with your friends. You can feel a bit of tickling and tingling in your abdomen. You look down and your clothes are a bit ripped. Your face wrap is torn and hanging down around your neck. So something just happened. But you definitely were not in control of that.
can I inside check her?
Go for it. I don't know what you're wanting to know, but
Just like, what are the vibes? Can I vibe check?
vibe check.
Is insight wisdom?
Yes.
15. I just like, was that like a trying to decide whether I trust that or not? Do I want to get on the boat with Aminah? Do I not? Would I rather be over here?
Oh, I feel like at the very least, like there is a bit of surprise probably on Kieran and Sludig's face, but they're not like horrified. I imagine they're like, fucking Aminah. Like,
What are you gonna do?
this shit again.
What are you gonna do?
But Aminah, I guess what would your reaction be? Like a bit of horror at what just happened, or just like a shit?
Well, you said I don't know what happened, so like it takes a second probably to like. I would imagine like she'd very suddenly feel cold in the places where her clothing just suddenly ripped, and she's like, wait, what the hell happened? And then like probably a little itchy in their face where multiple eyeballs and the fangs and all that. yada yada yada, and it probably would take her like a second to like analyze the physical sensations, but then afterwards she'd probably just be like, right. And say something along the lines of, don't worry, it's still me. I'm not going to kill you. And she'd probably like immediately follow that up with a fact that she knows about all three of them that she'd know that those three have not told anyone else.
You're like, it's really me, you know.
Yeah.
How did you know what I had for breakfast this morning?
I don't even know that.
I think to myself, that sounds like something someone who's gonna kill me would say. But I'm not gonna kill you. But I get on the boat anyway.
And then she'd probably finish that off with, what else are you going to do? Wait for the tides to come in and finish you off? Come on, we gotta go.
That's a good point. I jump on the
Luda
boat.
gets in the boat.
Yeah.
So you get in the boat. Just I assume Sludig and other strong folk take over the paddling job.
I got a 12.
Aaron, are you strong?
12.
Okay, I have a 20. Yeah, she.
Cool.
The strong
Me?
folks, you start paddling.
At 20 for a 33.
Well, yeah.
Oh, am I rolling?
You can go and roll an
I
athletics check, but okay.
Don't want to waste that 33.
It's
Yeah,
not great,
sorry.
but I got a 15. The
It
boat
definitely-
turns left.
The tide starts to recede and almost starts to pull you back out toward the ocean. Aminah, you get the sense that the ocean has sort of relented to you all. You fought back enough. And so it's less trying to yank you down to wherever it was trying to. Now it's trying to just lead you. As it sort of tries to steer the boat in certain ways, and Sludig's trying to pull away against it. And Sludig, you can kind of feel it pulling you too. Sort of pulling you back toward the direction of the chapel, but more in a roundabout way, as if it's trying to turn and lead you down to where that waterway is, that tunnel is.
The current, it seems to be taking us that way. If we were to go into the tunnel this way, we'd at least have a boat. What do we think? Could we get down to the tunnel the way the town's been flooded, or would we at this point have to like dive down?
No, so the water level is again
It's like
supernaturally decreasing as it increases. So it's, just within a few minutes you'll be able to go down in there.
Well, the last time we died trying to get a boat, one of our companions. So it's our next step, the tunnel. At least this way we're better equipped.
I fail to see any other method of egress from this point.
Agreed.
Sludig rows his boat.
Including rows. You start paddling your way into that waterway beneath the chapel. As you start to paddle into it, the storm is, as much as the tides have left, receded back, the storm continues to rage on. And every once in a while, it's probably just a trick of some clouds, but it almost seems like there's something out at the ocean. Either as part of the clouds or as a strange reflection off the water. Portia, as you scoot slowly into the waterway. You look up at the profane chapel, and you remember the baker and the oil
fuck.
trader who are tied up.
Oh, fuck. Maybe they were okay.
Maybe they held their breath.
Maybe the cult gave them air-breathing, water-breathing powers.
It's okay. They're still holding your breath. Just don't think about it.
Maybe that baker was mumbling a water-breathing spell or something.
Or maybe something horrible, like I chop up and eat babies, and you're like, oh, well, I'm glad you're dead now.
I don't know if I would be happy if they were dead either way.
Yeah,
It's
all
still
the
fun,
pastries
people.
for the baker, they were actually like human.
Sweet
people,
Todd.
Like, yeah,
Oh, okay, well, if that's the case.
yeah. So you reach the edge of the waterway and head inside. We can take a little break for people to get little snacks and refills and things like that.
Yeah.
Oh sheesh, oh sheesh.
Woo!
Oh, jeez.
I thought we lost Aminah there for a second. I was about to be
thought we
hopping in
did
the
too.
water.
I thought so too. I was like, that's
I
getting
was like,
close.
uh-oh.
Yeah,
What a time.
the way that I did that, I was like, I mean, they're gonna like, this is where they need to go, and how they get there is dependent on all of these different things.
Mhm.
And I was like, you know, they can either get there against their will by being sucked down the drain of this chapel, then go there on their own. And you guys did well enough to go on your own. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
We
We're
almost
bringing
did.
up boat with
it was
us.
close.
I'm in a boat.
That something happens. That something happens.
That was a good use of the something happens. And Logan, a
That was
very
fun.
creative something happens.
I'm sorry,
Mhm.
Daniel, for advancing Aminah's curse even more.
That's fine. I have a feeling by the end of this campaign, she ain't going to be human.
I
Which
also
is fine.
Ah,
Because
See,
that's kind of,
Seemingly human.
And I kind of figured, like, if Aminah were in basically a life or death situation, that, like, I don't know, that's kind of stuff might happen, like, fight or
Yeah.
flight kind of thing.
because like I'm like especially since we had the encounter with Farah and the bog witches,
Yeah.
it's like Farah has the intellectual capacity of a stunted toddler, but yet she still has that type of magic. Like, imagine what Aminah would be like if she wasn't like completely, if she wasn't inhibited by, you know, like trying to look normal. You know?
So I know we're not
you're
done
an
with this campaign.
in-game boss.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're not done with this campaign yet, but Aminah Sa'id, big bad of campaign 2. Here we go. Big evil spider lady.
turns into first overground rider. Good to know.
Ooh.
Honestly, that would be like, can you imagine like a level 20 story arc of like this party going after like a super high powered Aminah, like Spider Aminah?
I'm still holding out a few eggs for the basket that Kamin will wake up and be the big bad of what's going on here.
That is very true.
The water just flooded over this entire town, including the cemetery where Kamin was buried.
Just saying.
He's buried by the bog
The bird
witches.
song, right?
No, he's by the bog witches. He's
Oh,
way
you're right,
outside
you're
of
right.
town, so he's
You're right.
safe.
Or even worse.
You know, they brought back Sludig's wife. They'll bring back Kamin.
That's true.
Yikes.
That's true.
Big yikes.
All right, I guess I'll go to a break screen.
Be right back.
Go pee. All right, we're live. 3, 2, 1. We're
One.
technically live before
Sweet.
I even said 3, 2, 1.
Okay, great. So we're in a boat.
You're in a boat in a.
We got our flippy floppies and our swim trunks.
Yeah, you turn around and Andy Samberg sitting in the back, and oh gosh, what's the other Lonely Island dudes? I cannot remember their
I
name.
don't know.
They don't exist. It's only Andy Samberg.
It's all-
Yeah, basically.
Anywho, for the sake of brevity, I'm not gonna have you guys make a bunch of checks of navigating these underwater tunnels and caverns, but that same sort of vaporous smoke waves this kind of black gloomish energy that's sort of coming off of everything still permeates even down here, if not worse down here. And continuing paddling your way, you eventually see the hole that leads up into the chapel, and you notice, you see how those goons got up there, and that there is, you're not sure if it's man-made or naturally carved, but there is a sort of outcropping, a little walkway up above the water that follows the tunnel, wherever it leads.
Sounds like we should go that way. It's the water telling us.
Mhm.
Like a great plan. So what is the like tunnel wall made of? Is it like sheer stone?
I am so glad you
Sheer
asked, Drew.
con.
I was going to save this description for a little bit. I guess first question, do you guys have a light source?
I guess that was.
Don't we have this drift globe still?
I can use it. I can
Yes, we
cast
have-
a light cantrip. It'll last for 10 minutes, and we'll just have to keep using it.
In
and
my
I-
head
I'm not-
canon, Portia is just always exuding lamplight.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a great point, actually.
Yeah, I keep thinking of the drift globe. We do have someone whose job it is light.
But my light uses up
Magic,
a
it's taken our jobs.
resource.
Fair enough. So if we want to use the drift globe,
I mean, I'm gonna light a lamp anyway. It's just a matter of how much light and what kind of light we're using.
Right.
'Cause my light is not magical or in any sense, but it's just a candle or whatever, oil lamp. So we have a lamp and maybe a drift globe or light cantrip or
Yes,
something.
you have plenty of light, so you can actually see sort of the walls as you sail past them. I'll go ahead and read this little description of these sort of canals and caves beneath Driftchapel. It of course connects all the other waterways that you normally see that run underneath all the bridges and things. But all these natural caverns and tunnels are naturally eroded by the water, even though they seem very unnatural, almost like veins that go beneath the town of Driftchapel. The walls are dripping with the salty water of Trawler's Bay, and there's this slimy green algae that seems to cover a good chunk of the surfaces. You can still hear the crashing of the waves echoing all through the tunnels, but you're not sure if it's a trick of the storm or a trick of the water or real, but you think you hear faint whispering echoing as well. Looking at the walls, specifically Sludig, it's coated in green slime, but in some of the patches that are not slime and algae coated, the stone, it's almost black instead of an earthy brown or gray color. And you slow
like,
down.
oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Like obsidian and shiny, or like slate and matte?
Basalt.
You ask all the right questions, Drew. You slow down for just a moment, and you can see the light of your lantern and drift globes reflecting in it, and you can see your own shapes and your own silhouettes reflected in it as you sail past.
Like a rock that has naturally existed and been eroded to a point of reflection, or does it look like it's been polished, like by people or creatures?
I
Yeah,
mean, when
does this
things
look
are eroded by
constructed,
water,
or-
it's very smooth anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we would be able to tell.
It's smooth and that's been eroded by water, but
Be a great time to have dwarven stone cutting.
I know, right?
You basically have two options here. Either people have come down here and polished every inch of this tunnel,
Which is ridiculous.
or there's some magic at work, some otherworldly
Which is
magic at
also
work.
ridiculous.
Do we look
Ridiculous.
normally in the reflection?
Do what?
Do we look like ourselves in the reflection?
You look
Is there
in the
anybody
reflection?
else in the reflection that's
And
not?
where you get really skinny, and then you get kind of
like funhouse mirrors?
Yeah.
So Portia, you look at your reflections.
Totes, absolutely,
Yeah.
I do.
I mean, I did. I
I will hold my light up to the thing to look closely. I don't know how wide the tunnel is, but I will get close to inspect.
I assume Sluted, you kind of like slow down a little bit so Portia can. So Portia, you hold up whatever lantern or light source you can, earring.
I just this is just a general rule that when I have a lamp lit, it's a lantern that is on a hook at the end of my lamp lighter. So I'm holding my thing. I'm not holding it like this. Just so that everyone gets the general look.
Sure.
General look.
Thank you.
So you get a little bit closer so you can see the reflection, checking for anything abnormal. As you look a bit closer, you see the 4 members, your little troop here, and nothing else.
Why you gotta do that?
do. I see anyone else in there? No. No. I like.
But do eyes?
No. I just no Kamin off in the background, spirit haunting.
Photoshopped. I'm like translucent in the sky.
Yeah, I was saying it's the
behind them.
Olin Mills like portraits where his cave's up in the corner.
You see Malachi drift by in the reflection.
That's a deep cut.
That's a deep cut. Can I get some Malachi emotes?
Yeah.
Dump a few of those in the chat.
I miss him.
Good boy. Maybe he'll make a comeback in the boss fight.
I hope
He's
so.
the big bad.
No, they resurrect Kamin.
No.
I can't wait to shoot your friend.
Sludig, as you take a moment, look a bit closer, you put someone else in charge of maintaining the position. And at this point, you've gotten a little bit deep enough so that the tide is not just thrusting you forward as it was. But you do see a little bit of movement behind you. And when you glance behind you, the only movement you see that she seems unaware of is Aminah, who has a few extra spider-like legs on her abdomen that are actively moving and reaching out like they're stretching.
I try and hide, not like hide that I turn back and look, but like look and then look past. And so I'm turning full around to see as though, like, is that actually happening?
And you take a moment, you glance back again. It sure is happening. And you guys kind of see Sludig looking around, you glance, and you can see Aminah has some extra appendages.
Aminah, when you went out into the water, did everything... Well, we saw this strange web come and the waves they brought you under. Are you okay?
Aminah, you look down, you can see now these spider legs on your abdomen, like, reaching out and active.
You know, in a bit of shock, Aminah just brings levity into the situation and just says, "Oh, that's new."
She said, "Oh."
Well, when
And
you get there,
Well, hello.
dang.
Because at this point, she's just like, "Oh, okay." She's like come to full terms that like, yeah, there's no hiding this curse anymore. It's gonna keep coming in. So she's just like, "Yep, something definitely changed, and it's going to keep changing. But I imagine you'd rather have me in a slightly more hideous form than, I don't know, all of those ravenous fish people at your side. Am I right?"
I
Yes.
certainly wasn't going
Absolutely,
to kick you away. I was more concerned about you. I mean, I remember meeting Fada, and she seemed in control of herself.
That's very true. That is very true. Well, I guess I'll have to learn to live with these new friends of mine. Let's keep going, shall we?
Row, row, row my boat.
I'm
So
gonna start working on my rifle
awesome, Daniel.
while we're around.
To mark this change in Aminah's form, so whenever you shift, you get a climbing speed and get some temporary hit points and stuff.
Yeah.
When you're not shifted, you have advantage on checks made to climb and maintain footing while climbing. So you don't necessarily move at lightning speed as normal form does, but now you sort of have a little bit of help when climbing.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
He says as his
Thanks,
character gets more
Kurtz.
cursed.
I love
Ah,
curses.
sweet. Level up.
Hey, give me any
Curse.
physical deformity any day. I just don't want to lose my damn mind.
Oh, that's the wrong campaign for
Honestly,
this
that's
because
I was gonna say,
that
welcome
brings
to
up a great
Driftchapel.
thing. I would like the four of you to roll your sanity die.
I just don't want to lose my mind.
Roll
the gang
sanity
loses
die.
their mind.
What's this next
The
episode
one where they all
called? Yeah.
lose their mind. Oh, I rolled an 8 out of 8.
Nice.
I got a
Alright.
5 out of 8.
5 out of 10.
I got a 7 out of 8.
Damn, guys, no losing your minds here.
We're some sane fuckers.
It's because of the pens. It's because we
Yeah.
keep marking it.
Oh.
We've been keeping track. Oh.
And you know, you're paddling through these tunnels, and Sludig, you're an Outlander. You're a traveler. You
Mhm.
have a good sense of time and distance while you're traveling. And you know, Driftchapel's not that massive of a town.
Mhm.
But you've been paddling down here for a while, maybe 30, 45 minutes, maybe even upwards of an hour. And it's about this point when you finally reach a cavern. It's not anything massive by any means, but it does open up a little bit, and there's a few splits in this cavern, branching off in different directions. You kind of paddle around a little bit, keeping an ear out for anything abnormal, any signs of where to go. Each path seems to have a walkway along one side of it, so not really any good signs of going one way or another.
Does the water feel like it's pulling us in one specific way?
We could pull out the little
It
worms.
doesn't.
Ooh, the worms. Let's see if it matches up with the way the water's trying to take us.
He just said the water's not trying to
The
take
water's
us
not
anywhere.
trying to take you
Oh,
this
sorry, I
direction.
misheard you.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
But you can still try the worms.
Aminah, do you have the worms?
Aminah, do you have worms?
Yeah, I pull one of the jars out and see what direction the
and
crow's
it actually
slithering.
starts to pull you in a little bit of a direction, despite having no other signs anywhere else. So you start to paddle and drift that way. If I can get y'all to make another sanity roll for me.
I almost want to roll back.
Oh boy.
That was my problem with Kamin.
I got a 5 out of 8.
I rolled a 2 out of
Ooh.
8.
Bradley and Drew, are you okay?
Yeah, I got
7.
7. Oh, buddies
so
again.
Rachel, if you will, oh Jesus H Christ, if you'll roll a d20 for me.
And pull your teeth out.
4.
That's not
I
that many.
love
teeth.
to roll a low number. That's always good.
You die.
Oh my god, that's not.
No, it's because some
Face
of these,
enhanced.
like, you know, whenever you roll for a random thing for a D&D party, sometimes the result has no impact on that specific character. So you're like, that's not very helpful. This one could not be more pointed at Portia as a
F in
character.
the chat.
So as y'all are floating down, light sources in hand, pole arm and lamp in hand, Portia, you're seeing all these Gloam magical vapors floating through the air. You can hear these otherworldly whispers and this strange tug in the air. There's just something very just wrong about this whole place and this whole situation.
I'm probably like digging my fingers and my like fingernails into the wood of my lamplighter and like whatever wood that I'm sitting on in the boat to try to keep a physical grip on reality.
There comes a point where a stalactite seems to crack free from the ceiling and splash into the water. And Portia, you are so tensed up and so on guard and watching and frankly just scared of what's happening that when you turn, your polearm falls from your hand and splashes into the water.
Can I reach it? I would like to try to get it. Can I try to get it,
You wanna
please?
dive
I would like
after?
to get that, please.
I'm so
Can
glad
I
that
not
didn't
reach it?
happen to
Reach it?
me.
Just with my hands?
Just make a dexterity check. Just straight dexterity check. See how fast you can react to go grab it.
Oh, that's a 4. So I can't reach that with my hand, so I will put my whole upper body out of the boat and eventually try to like hook my feet under. I imagine we're in like a canoe type of situation.
Yeah.
So just like hook my feet under whatever I'm sitting on and like literally like lean out of the boat to get my pole.
We'll lean the other way to
Yeah.
counterbalance it.
A handful of things happen.
Rock the boat.
You grab onto your polearm.
Oh, I reach it. Nice.
Reach it.
Great. And now do I have the upper body strength to pull myself back?
Yeah, and of course they can, your companions can help you pull you up. But as you start to get pulled up, you see maybe 20 yellow eyes.
Holy shit.
Back of the
Please look down.
They don't move. They just watch you as you get pulled back up. And the rest of you, as you finish pulling Portia up and look down, you can see all these bright glowing eyes and the little lights of like angler fish over them, all staring up at you in this big cluster down at the
Are they
bottom.
like close to the surface?
No, they're dozen or more feet down.
Okay, so I can't like hit him with my
No.
pole.
Get
Once
back in
Portia's all the way in the boat, I'm rowing.
So at this point, Kieran, your firearms, you could have tended to them and dried them out enough.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Portia, with your now soaked lamplighter, it will not be able to light lamps or catch fire or do anything for at least an hour until you tend to it and dry it out.
Fuck.
And your sanity die goes down one size.
Oh, so it's a 6 now?
Yep.
Shit.
Hello.
And then Sludig,
Wake up.
I
from his
dump all the water out of the lamp.
you start to row. You realize as you lift your arms up, actually, I'll pin this on someone else to let him know. Sludig, you're rowing and rowing. Who would be sitting at the front of the boat?
Probably me, since I have dark vision.
Aminah, you
Think
look,
so.
and Sludig has about 10 ticks across his arm. Whereas everyone else has like maybe 3 or 4.
You know, the normal amount.
He's like, it's fine. It's normal.
Yeah, I start like using like my skills I've used from living in the wild. I'm used to these. Book, book, book,
Fingers.
book, 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 book. Rowing. Are the oars
Wait,
covered in ticks?
like
No,
Like-
no. Like you
Oh,
have
like-
marked on your arms when something strange has happened.
Okay, see, I thought
No,
pet.
not ticks the bug. Ticks the marking.
Or leeches. I almost pictured
Leech.
leeches.
I was
Yeah.
picturing leeches.
You have marks on your arm of weird things
Mm.
happening.
Every mark you have, there's a leech on it.
Yeah.
It's actually just a leech. It's blending in with the mark.
You put another mark because they look like leeches, and it's just another
Hyper
leech.
intelligent leeches.
Hmm.
But yes, Aminah, you notice that Sludig has a few extra markings on his arm than everyone else does.
Hmm. I'm just gonna turn right back around to Sludig and say, "Everything okay there?"
I mean, I've just been focused on getting us through these tunnels.
Oh.
Those eyes, they have me concerned. Look like being watched.
Concerned? I'm a little more than
Scared.
concerned.
Terrified.
There's.
But and then at this point, he sees the extra tick marks. I don't really know. Well, oh, Portia, sorry.
It's okay.
Portia, seems as though you had a good system going. The last time I looked down there, I only had 5. Seems as though there are 7. Something must be happening down here. And like, I assume this is the type of like, is it a rowboat, right?
Yeah.
And like, so I'm facing backwards.
Yeah.
What's happening that way?
Oh no.
Do you really want to know?
I'm looking towards it, so I do.
I'm like, Rachel is getting very worked up and anxious about this right now.
That's the best part about Driftchapel.
And this might not be an answer you want, Drew, but there's nothing happening, and almost too much nothing. And whereas everyone else has kind of had the freedom to look around and look at the walls, you're kind of having to keep your position forward, and basically you're just watching the darkness of this tunnel forever, basically.
And we've seen like none of the strange statues or anything that we were seeing in the other place. It's just
statues.
all dark, smooth, slimy stone.
Yep.
Hate
And
that.
weird eyes.
Reflective slimy stone.
Sludig is double or nothing, just like trying to get us to where we're going.
Mhm.
I don't like this.
Yep. Paddling faster, paddling faster. If I get each of you to roll your sanity die again.
I super thought I was gonna like break my pole in half.
Woo.
Please don't break my pole in half. I rolled a
Eight.
2.
I rolled a D100. Double zeros is still the 10, right?
What?
No,
Double
it's a
zeros
0.
Yeah.
No, it's yes.
I rolled a 2.
I also rolled a 2.
Oh! Both
Out
of
of
you roll a
6.
d20 for me.
Please don't drop the gun in the water. I
5.
need that.
5.
17.
Simultaneously, we both think the other one is a cultist, and we just go at each other.
Please don't. We don't have another
That-
boat to spare.
Combat in a canoe boat in a tiny tunnel that's very dark,
Rock the
and
boat.
the water is bad.
Don't rock the boat. Rock the boat.
Wait.
Tip the boat over.
We'll start with Porsche's because it's the most inconsequential.
Oh, nice.
Fuck.
Oh, God.
The thing that you rolled, Rachel, is that you were petrified where you stand. You're stunned for a round. So, effectively, there's just you're overcome with a bit of fear. Something strikes your heart, and you're kind of stuck in place for a second as a chill creeps over you. But eventually it subsides.
And I go back to chattering my teeth and being very anxious.
Yep. Kieran.
Oh no, bro.
The face palm says it all.
Yep.
I pull out another
Kieran, you
two.
hear someone say, "Hey, what are you doing down here?"
Fuck was that? Do I see or see where the voice is coming
I'm
from?
down here. Come on, you know. And Bradley, if Kieran
Is
were
it
to
little
hold,
Kieran?
if Kieran were to hold on to a sentimental object from his younger years, what would it be?
So, in the background that I have taken for this character, as well as the background that some of you have heard, I did choose the haunted one background, which means that I did get a haunted item or whatever, an item from the table,
Mhm.
which I rolled for, and it is a winter coat stolen from a dying soldier, which I have recontextualized as my husband's coat, which I am wearing.
What the fuck?
And Kieran, you can hear husband's voice, sort of surrounding you, all nice and
Fuck.
warm in these cold, slimy caverns. What are you doing down here?
I don't know. I'm trying to save your town?
Well, I appreciate it, but I feel like most people don't have much love for their hometowns once they're. But how's the town doing?
I'll be honest, it's looked better. At least I assume.
So you're gonna save the town, and then what? You know, it's your life now. What's in it for Kieran after that?
I have no idea. It's difficult to plan for a life that you never thought you'd have to live, especially one on your own.
They have to. There's sorts of crazy things in this world, you know? Anything can happen.
What do you mean?
I don't know. There's sorts of new magics coming about. And we could always, you know, find our way back.
Back to where?
Together. Can I get Portia and Aminah to both make perception checks for me?
Logan,
Gladly,
if you try to persuade him
because
to get in the water,
I-
I'm gonna be so mad.
Oh, I have something that I want to try and do if
Oh,
this goes well.
Oh no,
I don't know what
bro.
check I was trying to make, but I rolled a 3.
Yeah,
So,
remind me what
probably
check
not.
was that? Was supposed to be?
Perception.
Oh
A 5.
boy, perception. That makes it a 13 for me.
Sludig is glad he can't hear this conversation because Drew is feeling some strong parallels between himself and Ilya.
Oh, fuck. Oh fuck.
Oh, I
That's
rolled.
what I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, oh god, undead lover.
Hmm.
Ah.
Ah.
Wah.
Shit.
Aminah,
Mhm.
you notice that there's nothing down here. There's not like you can look at billboards and listen to a podcast or something. So you guys are
Right.
kind of just sitting and waiting for a good chunk of the
Mhm.
ride. And you look up and, Kieran was working on his gun and making sure it's all cleaned up and dried. But you notice he's holding some of his supplies in his hands, and he hasn't
Mhm.
fully packed up. He's kind of slowed down his process.
Mhm.
And on basically what amounts to like a file, like a little rough edge thing, Kieran's kind of absent-mindedly like rubbing his hands across it. Nonstop. Until eventually now you see blood starting to trickle down Kieran's wrist as he is filing away the skin on the palm of his hand. Kieran, I rolled a little high, 13 points of damage.
Fuck me.
Shit.
There goes,
I
there's
was
my
going
10
to
HP.
say before, well, I guess the bad thing has to happen first. But the instant I notice this, Aminah is going to mosey on over to Kieran. And she's going to swing her hand and slap him specifically around his ear in a way that's going to make it pop in a way that hurts.
And snaps him. I love that Aminah's... Like, Aminah is so done with everything that her fix for a lot of stuff is just being like, stab out of it! I don't think it's all good.
Snap out of it! Oh, shit
So,
moment here.
Kieran, your conversation is interrupted with a clap to the side of the head from Aminah.
I will just like taken aback, take the hit, and then like fall backwards, drop whatever I was working on, land there in the back of the boat. But I'll just like keep muttering, "What were you? Wait, what? Where? What? But how?"
And Aminah's just going to get his attention. Snap, snap. Doesn't say a word and just points to his wrist.
And you look, and basically using a file to like smooth down stuff, and amid your many tinkering and maintenance supplies, is amid your packing, you start just kind of fidgeting with it, and basically just sanding, filing away at the palm of your hand until like it bled down your wrist.
It's not fun. You ever had your knuckle meet a belt sander
I can't imagine.
or lathe motor?
No.
Because I have several
That sounds
times. It is not fun.
Ouch.
I can believe it.
I will acknowledge Aminah's I don't know, her actions to knock me out of whatever was occurring, and I'll just kind of gather my things back up and pull out a bandage and begin to bandage my hand back up.
So,
I'm not gonna waste that though.
continue on. And for those two of you who just failed your standard rolls, your die goes down one more size.
Fucking hell.
That's
I was
right.
just gonna ask that, but I was
So
gonna
yours
be
is
really
a
quiet about it.
D4 now?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It can't go any smaller than that, can it?
No, but then you have a 50% chance, and then
Oh,
after
so
you
then
fail
it's just
again,
a coin.
you
Okay.
will you go insane?
You have like a
after that?
lasting mental
Irreparable
impact.
sanity. Some pretty bad stuff. I think
I'm fully prepared for Portia to just like go fucking insane and for her to have to like at some point.
Sorry, old skipper. Looks like we're gonna have to put you
Put
down.
You broke your leg. You ain't good for racing anymore. So take it back.
so. With
That's the way that I've been rolling, at least.
So with that, you eventually, following the waterways and pathways, you eventually see a bit of light in front of you. Specifically, you round a bend, and you see an outcropping with some carved out stairs, 2 statues, each of a woman with one hand up, one hand at her stomach, and a flame in the hand at the stomach, and a large, rusty, algae-covered metal door. And you can hear faint whisperings and hummings and all sorts of stuff reverberating from behind the door. We can either stop there, or if people are wide awake and wanting to keep going, we can keep going.
I'm good.
I mean, if things are about to get intense and we're here to sit down for a little bit, I wouldn't mind going to refill my water bottle because I'm like a third of the way from empty.
Rachel, how are you doing? I know you were
I don't want to
sleepy.
be a party pooper, but I am
It's
sleepy
okay.
and I have
It's
not
fine.
felt great today.
We're adults. We could stop. I think we've been
Yeah.
at it for like 2 hours, which is pretty good.
Yeah. It's been a productive 2 hours.
I mean, it certainly was eventful.
intensive, that's for sure.
Fucking intense.
My sanity got cut in half. It's fine.
Yeah.
That was, man, those were some Kamin rolls right there.
They sure were.
I kind of want to roll bad.
Rolls bad,
Rolls
dogs.
2. Please don't make me break my pole. Rolls a 2 again. Fully prepared to just
I
and
was,
then
I
start
was
like hitting people with the 2 sides of the pole or something.
afraid to lose my gun, but instead got a wonderful dose of trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining
Here,
like
have
a
the
minute.
sleeves of your coat like wop, 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 wop,
Wop, wop, wop.
wop, 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 or like the collar of your shirt starts talking to you.
He has a little like frocket that's like
Yeah. Hey, what are you doing?
Hey, pal. That's a fun magic item idea, though.
Oh,
I know it's such
Hmm.
a
The
anyway.
sentient magic
Code
item
of
is just a
companionship.
nice-
Coat of companionship.
That's the
It gives you a
saddest
hug.
thing.
That's
You
so
can
sad.
use your bonus action to let it give you a hug. Gives you like free
prerequisite:
temporary
you
hit
must
points.
have the hermit background in order
Aw.
to.
And a
Attack this
and a
bug.
deceased loved one.
Oh.
Oh, we're Dungeons and Dragons characters.
They all
Of
do.
course, they're all
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
all dead.
Yeah.
Have you seen my backstory?
Oh
Exactly.
God.
So we'll end the stream there. Thank you for Jacob for doing a something happens at the very beginning, making Rachel poop themselves. Looks like Aaron is still here. Thanks for hanging out. Looks like Andrew's here. Thanks for hanging out. Look, I don't know who's a bot and who's not, so I'm not gonna thank bots. I'm not that kind of guy.
Fuck you, bots.
Fuck you, bots. I guess.
Fight me.
I don't know. And with that, I guess we'll figure out when we're going to be live again next. I'll try and post it on my Twitch page. People are starting new jobs and trying to move places and all sorts of
Trying
stuff. So
to.
we will see. We're definitely not playing next week though, as we figured out before. Everyone is busy next week apparently, so we'll definitely be back very soon. You can check out stuff on YouTube, and with that, everyone have a lovely night.
Wait. What's...
All right, so I didn't do the normal closing thing. So Bradley, what's the weather like in Driftchapel?
No. The flooding apparently.
There it is. All right, good night.